What's up friends, Chook here, and welcome to my Monster Hunter World Guide. This guide is aimed at players new to the series, and anyone that may not know or understand certain aspects of the game. If you're a veteran of the series, you'll most likely know everything I mentioned in this video, but for all the players new to Monster Hunter World, hopefully you'll find something here that will help you in your journey. Today we're looking at the Smithy, and what he has to offer in depth, basically. So obviously this is where you come to craft gear after you have slain or captured some monsters and got some of their parts. So the basic form is to forge equipment. For the weapons, you pick whatever weapon you want. So if we're going the Great Sword, initially you will just have basically the iron tree. So for the Great Sword, it's called the Buster Sword, and the Bone Tree. As you progress, you will unlock different trees that you can forge, but initially it'll just be the Iron Tree and the Bone Tree. Once you have crafted whichever one of those that you want, I think you start off with all of the iron side of things, and you can create the bone ones. But once you have that, you can then go into upgrade, and from there, upgrade to what you want. So, if we look here, this is obviously a little bit spoilery with what monsters create what and everything, but for the sake of this video, say we wanted to get to the Great Gyros tree, it's pretty self-explanatory. We would just need to make it to here, and then the next one we could do down to this tree, and then the next one would make it to the Great Gyros tree. So if we wanted to go to, let's just make sure I actually have all the, yes I do, okay. So if we wanted to go to the Great Gyros tree, we would just go here and make the Buster Sword 2. And we don't want to equip it because this is just for a tutorial. Next, we could either keep going this way. So if we wanted to get to the Thunder Element, we would have to keep going this way because we'd have to go to this next one and then down this tree. But we're going for the Great Gyros. So next would be the Jagras Blade. So we'll make this. And no. And then the next one down into the Gyros tree, and we are where we need to be. And then from here, we can keep upgrading as much as we can. So we can upgrade to this one if we wanted to. Then we would need to get some Gyros scales, 2 of them, to make the next one, and then, you know, keep going. So it's pretty self-explanatory, but these trees will open up and unlock as you kill the monsters associated with them, or capture, hunt the monsters associated with them. So to get to the Thunder Element, you will need to fight a Tobikadachi. To get to the Ice Element, you'll need to fight a Legania and get their gear, get their materials, and then these options will open up. So again, if we wanted to go to the Ice Element, we would have to build this one, upgrade to build this one, upgrade to the Thunder Element, and then upgrade to the Ice, and then from there you can keep going. So pretty self-explanatory. Same for all weapons. So longsword, same thing. Yeah. So for this, the Rathian tree, for example, once you hunt the Rathian, you can see there's this little hammer next to it. This means that you need to build this particular weapon. So this is called a Wyvern Blade Leaf. So if we wanted to go forge equipment, weapons, longsword, which is there, we can see the Wyvern Blade Leaf here. So anything that has that little hammer on it means that you have to forge it yourself. You can't upgrade into it. And then from there, you can go down the upgrade path. So that's for weapons. Pretty self-explanatory stuff there. Next is armor. So forging armor is a little different. In low rank, you will just have one set of armor for each monster that you fight. In high rank, you will most likely have 2. You will have an alpha version and a beta version. But we'll go for low rank for the moment, as that's probably what most people are in if you're watching this video. You can see all the different parts that you need for each piece of gear. So if we were making the let's make the Kulu set, which is the Kulu Yaku, the stupid chicken bird thing. So say we wanted to make his armor. You see here for the helmet, we would need 2 scales, 1 hide, and 1 plume. And you can see on the right hand side I have multiple things, so I could make that quite easily. Again, same thing for all the different parts, for all the different pieces, I should say. You can also press square on PS4 to see what each piece looks like that. Or you can go to the actual heading of the each monster's gear and press square there, and it will equip all of it to see what they all look like separately. As a set, I should say. And then you can, mess around if you wanted to and put, say these two here, this, and then with the Vespoid helmet, and do like a mix set and see what they look like. So that's how you find out what you need for each part and the crafting. If you go to each piece, or again the set, and you press the trackpad middle button, big button thing on the PS4, it will show you what items, what skills, these pieces of gear give you. So I'm wearing a charm that gives me 3 to attack boost, so don't worry about that. But this Kulayaku set would give you Fire Resistance level 1, Stamina Surge level 1, Pro Transporter level 1, Item Prolonger level 1, and Critical Eye level 1. And if we can check that by going to each of these pieces, and again, you can click that button and it will show you, okay, this gives you Fire Resistance level 1. This gives you Stamina Surge level 1, etc. And you can see what the level breakdown of each of those do. So Stamina Surge level 1 gives you stamina recovery speed of 10%. If you get another point into that, you'll get 20%, and then a third point will get you 30%. You can also see on the right hand side equipment info. You can see down at the bottom it has skills, and it shows you the fire resistance or the stamina surge or whatever it is there as well, and how many points of it you have. But you can also see different things to do with this equipment info as well if you press R2 and L2. So this shows you all the stats of it, just gives you a little piece of equipment info, statuses and all that stuff. But that's a good way of checking what each set, what each item of armor does and what the sets do. So certain armor sets will actually give you a bonus. So you can see for the Kulayaku, you can see the set bonus skill is nothing. The Puke is nothing, etc. But if we go down to the Anjanath, which is the first set bonus skill, I think, you can see the set bonus skill is Adrenaline, and it has a 3 next to it. That means that as long as you are wearing 3 parts of the Anjanath gear, you will get that set bonus. So again, if we go to the trackpad button and we press it on the Anjanath gear as a total, not just individual parts, but the whole tier of the gear, we can see that we get Anjanath power, which is the set piece bonus of having at least 3 parts. So you can see there we have 5 out of 3. Temporarily reduces stamina depletion when health is at 40% or lower. So as you get hurt and you go under 40% health, your stamina depletion is reduced for a small amount of time. So it's just a free set bonus that you can get if you get multiple parts of the same gear, which is useful. And because this is a 3-part, you could then potentially use, say you wanted to use the helmet, the chest, and the gloves. You could then find another armor set that has like a 2-part bonus. So you could maybe use the 2-part of the pants and the shoes of a different set, and then you could get 2 set bonus skills active at the same time, which is mixed sets, and that's all further down the track. But again, this is for beginners, so that's how you can check that. So the Anjanath set, again, don't worry about the attack boost, that's my charm. Actually, I'll quickly take that off so we're not getting confused. Let's just unequip that. There we go. Perfect. Let's go back to the Anjanath. We'll give you Anjanath power, which we've talked about. Fire attack level 1, marathon runner level 1, special ammo boost level 1, fire resistance level 1, and artillery level 1. And again, you can see all the different stuff on the status over here. But you can see and go through, take some time and take a look at all the different armor and armor sets, and see what skills that you want. So for the Anjanath, for example, it's obviously, he's a fire monster, so he has quite a few things to do with fire. He's got 1 for fire attack, 1 for fire resist. So say you were looking at the Lagania set, right? So Lagania is to do with ice, obviously, because it's an ice monster, at least if you've got that far. So if we have a look at what it looks like. We just press the square button, and that's what the set looks like, which is pretty cool. I used to use this when I was in low rank, particularly when I was using my bow, and the reason why is if we go to the skills. No, it wasn't particularly for the bow. That's a high rank. My bad. We can see that the 3 set gives us Legania's Blessing. Good chance of increasing quest rewards. This is why I used it. So if you're doing investigations and things like that, and you're getting rewards for completing the quest or whatever, this will give you a good chance of increased quest rewards. So you wear this set and you have a better chance of getting more items, which is always helpful. It also gives you Divine Blessing level 1, Evade Window level 1, Airborne level 1, Ice Attack level 1, and Ice Resistance level 1. If you're using like any ice weapons or anything like that, this would be good because it gives you the Ice Attack. If you're going up against an ice monster, it would be good because it gives you +6 resistance, gives you jumping attack power, Evade Window, and a free 15% reduced damage when this procs. So you can just go through and see all of the different gear that you want, and you're just like, okay, there's the Rathalos set, which again, you can see that I've built this because I have it in my box. The little box icon means that I have it in storage, but this is what that looks like. And again, we'll just go through this as a last kind of example. So Rathalos Power, again, you need 3 parts. Increases elemental damage, fire, water, thunder, ice, dragon when landing critical hits. Also gives attack power, attack boost 1, weakness exploit 1, fire resistance 1, fire attack 1, and jump master. So if you're using weapons that have elemental attachments to them, this might be a decent set to get because you will do increased elemental damage when landing crits, and when you land crits when you hit a monster in a weak spot. So if you hit a monster like in the head or in its tail or in its wings or whatever it's weak, wherever it's weak, which you can find out in your hunter log, you will do extra elemental damage. Then when you get into high rank, it gets a bit more confusing because there's alpha and beta sets. The main difference there is that if we go down to... Let's just go down to the Anjanath again because we had a look at that before. You've got Anjanath Armor A and Anjanath Armor B. They look slightly different. Each one does. So if we Baroth A, Baroth B, that one doesn't look too different, just a different kind of coloring. But some of them do look slightly different, like that one, for instance. But we can see here that it's got completely different set bonuses. So this one has 2, if you have 2 skills, temporary reduces stamina depletion when health is 40% or lower. So on the low rank set, that was a 3-part set. Now it's gone down to 2. And if you have 4 of it, you will get increased stamina cap. So you'll just have extra stamina, which is great. Also gives you fire attack 3, fire resistance 3, artillery 3, special ammo 2, and marathon runner. So obviously the high rank armors are better. That makes perfect sense. You'll get more skills and everything. But because the Anjanath Will is only 2 parts, this is what I was talking about before. If you had a different armor set that had 3 parts, you could take, say the helmet and the gloves from the Anjanath, and then the chest, legs, and feet from a different set, and you could go in with 2 different set bonuses. But you, again, take your time, look through all the armors and the armor sets and see what skills you need and what bonuses you want and all the rest of it. So that's basically it for armor. The next is charms. Eventually you will get the ability to craft charms. I think this is when you get to Coral Highlands. Not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure that that's it. And this is pretty self-explanatory as well. I think you get an attack charm for free. I believe so. Or it might be a defense charm for free. It's one of the 2. Either way, you can see here the list of charms, and as you progress through the game, they get obviously better and better skills. But say you wanted, an attack charm to give you 1 boost to the attack skill, you could craft this armor charm. So you would need 4 sturdy bones, 4 boulder bones, 1 light crystal, and 1 aqua core to do so, and 1500 zenny as well. But that would give you attack charm 1. You could equip that attack charm. And then if we went back to armor and we went to the Anjanath again, wherever he is, Oh, that was fire attack, my bad. Where's something with just attack on it? Come on, something has to have just attack. Come on! No. Okay. I'm struggling. Let's just say that earplugs was attack level 3. If you put that attack charm on, you would all of a sudden be up to attack level 4. So that's what the charms are good for. They're good for filling in any gaps of the skills that you don't have, or getting a skill that you have to a higher level, so it unlocks the next tier of the skill. Quickly touching on the high rank Alpha and Beta, because I just realized that I forgot to do so. What the difference is, again, we'll go to the Anjanath. We can see here that if we have a look at the Anjanath Alpha, we get all of this stuff. If we look at the Anjanath Beta, we get similar skills, but like this has Fire Attack 3, Fire Resistance 3. Anjanath B only has Fire Attack 2 and Fire Resistance 2. And so you might be asking, well, why the hell would I ever make the Beta if I can make the Alpha and get better stuff? The reason is, you can see here that all of these Alphas don't have any slots in them, and the Betas do. So this Anjanath Beta helmet has a one slot of a level 2 gem. So on the right hand side, where all the information is, you can see the slots. The first one has the 2 little dots under it. That means that it is a level 2 gem. Decoration slot, this one has 2 level 1s, this one has 1 level 1, 1 level 2, and 1 level 1. So if you go the Anjanath Alpha, you will get all these skills and only these skills. Whereas if you go the Anjanath Beta, you will get these skills, similar skills to the Alpha, just not as strong, but you will have slots where you can put decorations in, which we'll go into in a minute, to boost the skills. Similar to the charms, right? So if you had a fire attack charm, level 1, you would go from having level 2 here, fire attack plus 60, you would go up to level 3 and you would have fire attack 100. If you then had fire attack decorations, you could set them into those slots, and say you had 1 fire attack decoration, it would go up to level 4, and it would give you fire attack plus 5%, bonus 100. So that's what the slots do, and that's the main difference between A and B, or Alpha and Beta. So if we go to... Some of the Alphas do have slots, so you can see here that the Levasioth Alpha Gloves has a 2 slot, but the Beta has a level 2 slot, I should say, but this has a level 3 slot. So this has an extra skill, wide range, but this doesn't have wide range, but it has a increased gem capacity for the slot. So that's the difference between those. We've gone over charms, and now we will do decorations. So the way decorations work is similar to if you watched my custom radial menu video about how you can set your radial menu, and then once you equip a new item loadout, it'll disappear and you'll get really pissed off and annoyed. You have to save the item loadouts to keep a custom radial menu. Similar to decorations. So if we can do this out here, which might be a little bit easier. We can see that if we go to set decorations and we go to current equipment, let me change my gear first, actually. Let's go with I can't remember what has a slot in it. Alright, we'll go with this. We'll see if this has a slot in it. It does. Okay, so you can see here that I have an attack jewel 1 in my helmet, and I have a satiated jewel in my weapon. This is actually this is a bad example because this is like old equipment that I haven't been using. We'll just go back with what I had. Oops. This is fine. This is much better. Okay, so I've got Venom Jewel in my weapon. I have Flight Jewel level 2 in my eye patch. I have a tenderizer level 2 in my pants, which sounds funny. And then I have a satiated jewel and attack jewel in my boots. My gloves and my chest do not have gem slots, hence I don't have anything equipped in there. Now, once you put them in, they're in and everything's fine. But if you were then to change your gear manually, so say I was to go, okay, change equipment, I want to change to, you know, these pants or whatever, you would then obviously lose the skills attached because you've taken the pants with the gems off. So the way to do it is set the decorations you want in the gear that you want, and then save your armor loadout with the gems and everything equipped as a loadout. So you can see here, this is my sword and all my sword and shield stuff. So this is my like one of my dragon weapons. So this has the armor set with certain decorations put into it and saved. This is my poison one, my fire one, my lightning one, my blast one, my water one, another dragon one, and my ice one. So they will all have, even though this set, which is one of my dragon ones, and this one, which is my blast one, has the same armor and everything on the loadout. You can see on the right, the eye patch, the sister, the van braces, all the rest of it, they're both the same. They will have different gems and decorations. Well, gems, decorations, same thing, inside of my armor. Now, the cool thing is, you only need one gem. So say I only have one attack gem, right? So if we go back to set decorations, I only have this one attack jewel one. I've only found, I think you get it for free as well. I haven't found another one. I've just been unlucky that I haven't found one. But I only have this one attack jewel. But I use this attack jewel in pretty much every single set, every single armor loadout that I have. Now, you would think that, oh, okay, I have 10 armor loadouts. I need 10 attack jewels. No, you only need the one. If you have one jewel of any, doesn't matter. So tenderizer jewel, I think I only have one as well. You can save this, like I said, you put the jewels in, everything, and you save it as it is right now, and it's done. If you go and make another armor set for a different loadout or whatever, you can effectively take the jewel out of these pants and put it into your other set, your other pants, for example, and save that. And then you will then have 2 sets saved with the same jewel. So you don't need to put a jewel in one set and it's there permanently. If you have the 2 sets saved, once you change from one to the other, it'll just take that gem out of set A and insert it into set B. You don't need to have a gem for set A and a separate gem for set B. So the gems that are kind of hard to get, so say tenderizer jewel, I've got one. I use this to get my weakness exploit up, and I can use this in any set I want, and I only have the one gem. So don't fall into the trap of going, oh shit, I need to, I've got a tenderizer jewel that's great for this armor set, but I need another one for this other armor set. No, you can use it in both. Just make sure that you save it in each loadout. And then when you load each loadout, you will have the gem in each one. So if I quickly show you my gear here and my... this is a mix set, what I was talking about before. If you had, 2 of the Anjanath and 3 of the Toby Kadachi or something. I have the eye patch, which is its own thing. I have a Kushala Dorora piece. I have this piece, which I can't even remember where this is from. I have the Nergigante pants, and I have the Death Stench boots. None of which work together. So if I press the trackpad button, you'll see that I have 1 out of 3 for the Nergigante set, 1 out of 3 for the Kushala Dorora set. So I don't get any set bonuses with this. But what I do get with this, and the decorations that I've attached, is attack boost 6. So all I need to do is find another attack jewel, and I will get to level 7. At the moment I'm level 6, which gives me an extra 18 attack and affinity plus 5, which is really good. 1 more attack gem and it'll get me up to attack plus 21. So that's the only thing I'm missing really from this set. I have handicraft plus 5, which gives me weapon sharpness plus 50. the sharper your weapon is, the more damage you do. And you can see there on the right hand side that the sharpness goes from red to orange to yellow to green to blue, and most weapons will stop at blue. If you put handicraft in your loadout, some weapons will go up to white, and that will mean that you're basically doing more damage. I main the sword and shield. The sword and shield loses sharpness fairly quickly, which is why I have one thing of speed sharpening in here, which I plan to improve as well. But I have white sharpness on my weapon now due to this handicraft. I also have weakness exploit, which I was talking about before, which is I put a gem in there, which was the tenderizer gem, to get this to level 3 because I only had level 2 of it. So this gives me attacks that hit weak points have 50% increased affinity. So I'm doing 50% more crit to weak points. And then I just have this poison attack decoration in my weapon because my weapon does poison damage. So this just increases the build up by 5% and a bonus 10 damage. I get focus, that's just from my gear, I think, just a stat that's just extra that wasn't really intended. This is a decoration that I inserted as well. Jumping attack power plus 10%. The sword and shield uses quite a bit of jumping attacks, so that's just an extra 10% damage, why not? The satiated jewel, the airborne and satiated jewel, actually, they're both really good one-hit wonders. For certain weapons, at least. Well, the airborne's for certain weapons. So if you're using like a bow or a heavy bow gun or something, then this isn't really going to do you too well. But for sword and shield and dual blades and insect glaive and things like that, that you're in the air quite a bit, an extra 10 damage for one slot decoration, it's not bad. Free meal as well, which is the satiated jewel, which is pretty good. Activates 25% of the time to not consume any item that you eat or drink. So if you use a potion or you eat some a ration or a well-cooked meat or whatever it is, you have a 25% chance of just not using that item. So it comes in really handy when you use max potions or dash juices or something, and it doesn't actually consume the item. You get to keep it. So instead of having 2 max potions, all of a sudden you have used the item, but you still have 2 in your inventory, effectively giving you 3 for the hunt, which is really cool. And then, as I mentioned, speed sharpening removes 1 cycle from the sharpening process. Because sword and shield loses sharpening quite quickly, this is a good one to have. I'm trying to get it to level 3 once I get the appropriate decorations, which would remove 3 cycles from the sharpening process, which means that I sharpen extremely quickly, which would mean that as soon as I go from white to blue, I can just find a few seconds of safety. Like maybe I go behind a rock or I drop down a level or something and quickly get a sharpen off and then get back into the hunt. Or if it's multiplayer and the monster's attacking someone else, I can get a quick 2-3 seconds sharpen off rather than the 5, 6, 7 seconds or whatever it takes normally. I can't remember how long it takes. I'm just throwing numbers out there. But that is effectively how you set decorations and keep like the one jewel that you need or whatever across different sets. You don't need to get the multiple jewels. I can't stress that enough. It's really important. As far as getting the decorations or the gems or the jewels or whatever you want to call them, you would just come across them naturally as you progress the game on higher difficulties. So I don't think you'll get any in low rank. Maybe you will, I can't remember. But as you do high rank quests and things like that, you will start getting decorations as rewards. And if we go into my thing and we go set decorations, you can see that I have 12 pep jewels, for instance, 10 ice resistance jewels, 5 fortitude jewels, 11 Meowster jewels. So you get quite a few of them, and these are all crappy level 1 ones that you don't really use. You can go to the Elder Melder, which I touched on in my previous video about the NPCs, and you can trade these in to get different ones. I just haven't been bothered doing that as of yet. And then you can see all the jewels that I have attached in just old gear that I haven't bothered replacing or whatever. So you can, if I wanted to use, I've got all these different satiated jewels, so I just put them in different different armor here. But I effectively only needed 1, and I could have put that 1 jewel in all of these different different equipment rather than having 4 different ones. So This, if you have extra jewels, whatever, it doesn't matter. But if you only have the one, like I said, you can put it in whatever gear. As long as you save the loadout, it will swap across whenever you equip that loadout. All right, that was a bit, a lot to take in. Hopefully I was adequately successful in teaching you something there. It is a bit confusing, and if you're new to the series, it can be a bit daunting about how that all works, and especially the decorations and stuff, and the gems, and you know, we've been over it. But hopefully that was helpful. If you did learn something, let me know in the down in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.